So, Latino voters voted for Trump. Does that mean we're not moving to Mexico now? That's what I want to talk to you about. Okay. I only have a few minutes, so this should be a pretty quick one. Um, Inside of the Black Women Move Abroad space, Mexico is a super popular destination for Black women who want to move abroad. So are Panama, Costa Rica, Ecuador. If you don't know anything about that, oh, your eyes are about to be open. Welcome to this channel. But even if you do, let's have this conversation. If Black women are on a precipice of a new awakening, which I think is happening, and I don't think I'm overstating things. I think we're about to see a lot of things crumble. I think we're about to, hopefully, I'm hoping, okay, I'm hoping that we're about to see Black women being the workhorses of society. We're about to see that crumble. We're also, I think we're going to see a little Black excellence crumbling, okay? We're about to see Black people striving to get the approval of white people crumbling. I think we're on a precipice of a new day for Black women, a new day where we prioritize our own interests. But does that mean that we have to take these Latin American countries off of our move abroad list? Let's talk about that. Spoiler alert, no. Okay, so I'll tell you why I don't think so. My name is Stephanie Perry. Welcome. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're a Black woman who is at all interested in taking a career break or a sabbatical, stepping away from work and living your life for a while. If you're interested in bopping around the world as a nomad or moving abroad. If you're interested in house sitting and getting some free accommodation, if you're interested in embracing ease in your life, please hit the subscribe button. I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to wait. Thank you. Okay. Also, turn on notifications, ring the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live with my friends. Hey, friends, this is a super last minute live stream, so I didn't even send out notifications. Somebody's going to be like, I didn't get notification. You didn't get it because I didn't give it. I'm sorry. I have about 20 minutes before Rashida and I sit down for a meeting, and I wanted a video out in the world today. And this is the only way I was going to do it on this channel. I did a video yesterday on my other channel. So let's talk about it. If these countries are places where we're talking about moving to, but the people inside of the United States who come from these countries seem to have made it clear that they're not on our side, why would we still want to move there? I think, number one, I'm going to give you some lists. You know, I love lists. Number one, the United States does something to people when they get here. It takes people who have been probably decent people, and it can really make them fight with people who they should be creating allyship with. And it can make people act in a way that they wouldn't act in their original countries, in the places they came from. I haven't been all over the world, but I've been to Mexico. I have been no, not all over. Mexico has 30 some states. I've been to maybe 8 states in Mexico. One, two, three, four, maybe 6 states in Mexico. Okay. But I've gotten a time to spend a good amount of time in these places and move really slowly and like actually meet and talk to and be in community with Mexican people. There's a difference between the way Mexican people in the United States act and treat Black people and the way they act and treat and welcome Black people inside of Mexico. Part of that, I guess, part 1A, section 1A of this conversation is that sometimes they're just different people, right? The person who will pick up and move to the United States and mistreat Black and brown people inside of the United States in order to achieve whiteness is a different person from the person who is living in Mexico, living their lives, right? Living their life in Mexico, not really thinking too much about white in any regard, right? So part of it is that they are different people, and part of it is that they behave a different way in this country. This country has a reputation for taking people who have a reputation for being good people and I don't know, making them act bad. First thing I'm thinking about is Irish people. Irish people and Irish American people are two very different things. And sometimes when I say on this channel, I go to Ireland, you'll love it. Irish people are the best people. People will be like, Irish people, I'm from Massachusetts. I'm from Boston. Irish people are not good people. And I always have to remind people that Irish and Irish American are two different things. It doesn't really matter how long ago someone came to the country. Once they enter into these borders, there is a fight for whiteness, a fight for resources, a fight for approval that causes them to pit themselves against the other people that they should be working with, right? People inside of Ireland have extended themselves to people inside of the United States so warmly during the civil rights movement, during the like during the entire course of the existence of the United States, which is was predicated on the massacre, the genocide of our native populations, right? Irish people have put themselves in allyship and support in community with people inside of the United States over and over and over again. They really legitimately, people in Ireland, they have a reputation of being some of the best people. But Irish American people have the reputation to Black people of not being good to us, okay? There's a difference. I think we see this same thing with Mexico and Mexican people and just Latin American people in general. Um, and so I personally have not been treated as well in most anywhere in the world as I've been treated in Costa Rica. Right? I got a list of 5 or 6 places with the best people. I've been to I don't know how many countries, 30, 40 countries. And I got a list of, I think, top five best people: Fiji, Costa Rica, Bermuda, which I forgot the other day, South Africa, the Philippines, right? Mexico would be the next, right? Mexico's number 6, so it's top 6, right? And 2 of those are Latin American countries. 2 of those are the groups of people who inside of the United States don't have a reputation of being, well, the Mexican people inside of the United States don't have a good reputation towards us, right? But inside of Mexico, different people with different approaches to treatment of people, right? Also, okay, so 1A was that. Okay, I don't know. I've lost count of where I'm going here. But I also want to say that there are also white Latinos. There are white Mexicans. There are white whatever, Argentinians. Some of these very white people are the sons of the colonizers, right? The daughters of the colonizers. And so it would be ridiculous to expect them to be on our sides anyway, because they only got to Latin America because their people went to Latin America, massacred a bunch of people, stole the land, right? And moved their families and their people to those countries. And so it doesn't, there would be no reason for them to be on our side, no matter where they came. Whether they stayed in Argentina or they came up to the United States, to Miami, they're the same white sons of colonizers that they've always been. We forget that. People forget that there are white Latinos. Their children, their grandchildren, their great grandchildren, they're white people. Their name might be Garcia, but Garcia is a Spanish name. Spanish is from Spain. These are European people, right? Ancestors of those conquistadors are not going to be on our side, right? How did white people get to Costa Rica and Mexico and the United States of America? Not generally, not mostly through like good means. They came to kill, steal, and destroy. They also came to evade prosecution in their own rights. Lots and lots of German names in Costa Rica. Lots and lots of German names in Brazil and Argentina and the Uruguays and Paraguays and Chiles, right? Lots and lots of German Nazis left those countries to evade prosecution. It came to the United States too, right? Stayed in their little insular communities, made little Nazi babies, right? We still call those people Latinos, but they're never going to be on your side, okay? Now, I think the good news, is that in those countries, a lot of them have stayed, in some of those South American countries, a lot of them have stayed super insulated. And so when you move to Costa Rica, you may not deal with those people because they're not dealing with people. They're in their little insulated places, at least for the first few generations. Maybe now they've broken down, now that the Nazis have mostly died, right? Probably Even the youngest Nazis are probably 100 years old, right? So now that they don't have much chance of going to prison, they might be opening up and moving out among the rest of the people. But you may not have to deal with them. And so, not the same people in a few different ways, okay? So the Latinos in the United States are not the same people, and or they're just regular white people, right? They're just the children of the same white people who are in the United States. Those are the same white people who are in Mexico, in Chile, right? In Argentina, in Brazil. And so we have to just I think, put that into perspective. And and then, period. Put that into perspective, period. Okay. And I think we also need to just go to places and see how you feel and see how people treat you. Listen, I have not been treated as well anywhere in the world as I've been treated in Latin America, right? Except for the other places I named: South Africa, Fiji, Philippines. Uh, I know I have my own experiences. And I've interviewed, oh Lord, 100 Black women over this channel, the Exodus Summit channel, inside of Exodus Summit. I've interviewed a lot of Black women who have been to these places as well. I wouldn't tell you to go someplace that people don't like. The other day, I'd made a video on Saturday. We did a live stream about where to go to take a little race respite. And I was like, Spain. And I was like, no, I had to cross Spain off immediately because I was like, no, because I've talked to enough Black women who are like, sometimes they racist down there, right? I wouldn't send you there. I wouldn't put it on the list. I'm not sending anybody anywhere. Okay, y'all send it yourselves. I'm not recommending any place that I think you're going to have a terrible time. That's why I'm like, visit Australia, but don't move there. Don't move to Australia. You don't want to live there. Go see it. It's cute. Okay. But you don't want to live there. The places that Black women in this community go to are places that when we visit them, we feel good. And when we move there, we are in community and we're treated well and we enjoy our lives. We wouldn't move to places for more hardship, right? If you're going to put forth the time and effort and money and attention and time to move abroad, you want to move someplace where you're going to feel good. And the women that I've talked to on this channel, in the Exodus Summit community, and in person and face to face, and those women have felt good in Latin America. Most of Latin America, not Argentina, okay, but the places I named: Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, Ecuador. Black women love it there. And so I think that means we don't take it off the list, okay? Another thing I want to address is the question of, if so many Mexicans are trying to leave Mexico, why are you moving there? Let's throw that into this conversation as well. And that's a pretty easy answer. Then people who are coming here crossing the border illegally right now, they're not Mexicans. They just came through Mexico, right? A lot of them are Venezuelans. Venezuela is struggling. And so you see a lot of Venezuelans and other people moving up through Mexico to get into the United States. Just because they come through Mexico doesn't mean they're Mexicans. It's not all that hard. It's not all that hard for Mexicans to get in the United States, right? If you've ever lived in a border town, they just drive across. Okay. They seem to just drive across. All right. I crossed the border myself on foot. Now, I have a U.S. passport. It was easy. But you know who was right in front of me and right behind me in the line? Other Mexican people, right, with Mexican passports. So it's not all that difficult. Those people that you see clamoring to get into the U.S. are clamoring to leave worse places than Mexico, right? They're clamoring to leave places in worse situations than Mexico. Don't get it twisted. Just because they're passing through Mexico doesn't mean they're Mexican people. Because Mexican people, they can get here when they feel when they feel like it. That's been my experience, right? They can get here if they want to. It's not. They don't need to be risking their lives to come across the border. I don't think. Um. So that's the answer to that. They're not. I don't think they're Mexicans, right? Are they Mexican people, or are they Venezuelan people and other people who are coming from places that are having a much harder financial time? Okay, Mexico has a woman president, and she's in support of a Palestinian state, if nothing else. So maybe there's a leg up that Mexico has that our country doesn't have. Um, she did call for the recognition of Palestine, but she has not yet called for an end to the funding of the genocide in Palestine, but oh, maybe she's like, that's not my business. I don't know. I don't know what her thoughts are on that. But they do have a woman president who wants to recognize Palestine's right to exist. So maybe that you put the maybe put that in the plus column. Okay, so I think I did it. How did I do? Okay, intentional with Lelam says that makes sense. Okay, good. Okay, all right. I'm not here to tell anybody where to move to, but I'm here to tell you that you're gonna like Mexico. You will like it. You might not like Costa Rica. Costa Rica is an acquired taste. Costa Rica is a little bit more challenging and a little bit more expensive. Okay, Costa Rica, maybe you won't. And it's harder to get when you're in a pretty part of Costa Rica, you're going to be surrounded by American white people because they love Costa Rica. In Mexico, you can get into a Mexican part of Mexico and you can live with Mexican people who are going to treat you well, who are going to be in community with you and treat you as one of them. Mexico is the first place, not the first, but it's a place that where I went where I was like welcomed in. I guess I had done a lot of traveling just as a vacationer. Mexico was the first time I house sat out of the United States. And so I got to be in a community with local people and, see how local things are done. And Mexican people are kind and patient and generous. Mexico is a place where you don't see someone begging on the street who is not actively being given cash. You know what I mean? Mexico's got poor people like everyone else, including poor Venezuelans and people from other countries, right? Nicaragua, right? But Mexico, you don't see a poor person in Mexico with an empty cup. Mexicans believe in giving money to people. Mexicans believe in being in community with people and supporting people. Mexico Mexicans, I'm talking about, not American Mexicans, okay? Mexico Mexicans have a spirit of kindness and generosity that I want to be around, that I love being around and spending time with. When I'm in Mexico, Rashida talked about this on her channel the other day. When I'm in Mexico and I say buenos dias to somebody, oh, believe me, they're gonna give me a buenos dias, right? It's not a place where people don't speak to you like in Southern California, right? One of my beefs with Southern California. I'll be walking dogs because I'm a house sitter, and you say good morning. As people in Southern California will not say good morning to you. I'm like, you don't see how cute this dog is? Even if you're not going to say good morning to me, you're going to say good morning to a cute dog, right? Mexico is not a place where they're not going to say buenos dias to you or good morning or talk or chat with you, talk with you, help you, no matter how much your struggle Spanish is wasting their time. It's a kind and patient place full of kind and patient people, right? I think love is a word to describe what Mexican people do to each other and to you, right? If love is patient and love is kind, if that's what love is, then that is what you feel inside of Mexico and what I feel inside of Costa Rica and what the women I visited in Panama and Ecuador, what they're feeling. Okay. So one more time before I close out, I'm not here to convince you to do anything, but I think you would like it. Okay. If you need a race respite, if you need some time away from these white people in the United States and these Latinos in the United States, right? And these Asian people I'm okay with it. Listen, do what you need to do. Okay. Do what you need to do to have peace of mind, right? Do what you need to do to be able to breathe and be. Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Ecuador, they're places where you can breathe and where you can be, and where you can be a human person treated with kindness and decency and humanity, because the people in those countries, they have humanity, right? They have not sold their souls to gain the world, right? Souls intact, humanity intact, kindness, decency intact. Got to be Oshun. Hey, girl. I love Mexico. Every time I've been there, was treated like a goddess all three times, right? It's just a place with good people. You can feel it, right? You can feel it when you get to a place. That's why I don't like Australia. Why in South Africa, I don't want to see them white people. I don't want to see it, right? Why Rashida enjoyed herself in Ireland, right? There are places with good people. If, as I said, some things are crashing down, which I'm happy about, if you can't tell, if some things are crashing down, including Black women sacrificing for the sake of others at the cost of our own selves, if that is crashing down in your life, let it fall, okay? And find a place where you can thrive, where you can rise like a phoenix, where you can thrive and live a life of your dreams. Okay? You're invited to join the Exodus Summit community at exodussummit.com/community. I should be able to get this on the screen very quickly. Wait, are you still there? Hold on. Ecamm Live is lying to me about my thing crashing. Join us inside of the Exodus Summit community. This is a community for Black women only. It's so you don't have to worry about people gaslighting you about race and why you have to ask such specific questions, okay? And you don't have to you deal with people saying, Black women, you got to go to Africa. What's the point of going and move, right? It's a place where Black women exercise agency over their lives. We do what we want and we go where we want. Sometimes we go to Africa and sometimes we go to Mexico. Okay. If you are a Black woman who is interested in this conversation, you would love the Exodus Summit community. So I invite you to join us. exodussummit.com/community. Join us and let's start working on your plan, right? Your peace out plan to live in a place where you feel like being in community with people instead of a place where you're going to have to always or buffer yourself and be super hyper vigilant about what's happening and who's here. And always have to be on guard. Let's live in a place where we don't have to live like that, please and thank you. Okay, I do that in Costa Rica. I'm in Delaware right now. Okay, but I don't get back to Costa Rica until January, I think the 2nd or 3rd or 4th. But I have that in Costa Rica, and you have that too. You can have that too. Kisa, it's because it's a Facebook group. Exodus Summit is a Facebook group right now. We are in the process. So we've never said this. Rashida and I are in the process of moving part of Exodus Summit off of Facebook. You know, we don't fool with Facebook like that. Okay. But it's going to take some time. But so right now it's a Facebook group. If you go to exodussummit.com/community in the future, maybe it's not on Facebook. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining in. I'm sorry I didn't get to hang out with y'all in the chat very much, but I got to go meet with Rashida literally right now. We have a 2:30 meeting, so I got to hang up and meet with her right now. But I wanted to answer that question for you and invite you into the Exodus Summit community and say hi and say, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're resting, taking good care of yourself. And I hope that I'll see you again soon. Saturday, we're talking about getting used to disappointing people. So that's a good conversation. This Saturday on my YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Eastern, Positively Prill and I are having a conversation on getting used to disappointing people. Get them people off your back. And then in 2 weeks, we're talking to a couple who moved out of the United States into Mexico. I believe Mexico. We're talking to a couple. So for those of you who are like, I'm married, that's for you. Okay, 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you don't yet get notifications for when I do a live stream or when I put a video up on my channel, you should start getting notifications. I'm going to put a phone number up here. You just text the word YouTube to this phone number and you'll get notifications, text notifications when I do stuff on the internet. Okay, the phone number is, did I not paste it? Paste? Okay, 888-403-4465. So if you text the word YouTube to 888-403-4465, you'll get notifications for my channel. Thank you, friends. So nice to see you guys. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate you stopping in. Share this video with a Black woman you know who's got this question. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.